The Galactic Council's miscalculation. The vast chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with an undercurrent of excitement. Beings from 1,000 worlds filled the tiered seats, their forms as varied as the stars themselves. Some floated on anti-gravity fields, others towered on multiple limbs, while a few existed as shimmering energy patterns. At the center of it all stood High Counselor Zixnari, her iridescent scales gleaming under the soft bioluminescent lights. Esteemed colleagues, Zixnari's voice resonated through the chamber, amplified by unseen technology. We stand at the precipice of a momentous decision. Our long-range scouts have discovered a new sentient species on a resource-rich world in the Orion Arm. They call themselves humans. A murmur rippled through the assembly. New species were rare and potentially lucrative finds. Zixnari continued, her 6 eyes blinking in sequence. Initial observations suggest they are a primitive race, barely able to leave their own atmosphere. Their technology is crude, their planet's resources largely untapped. I propose we initiate standard protocol for species acquisition and resource extraction. From the upper tiers, a globular being pulsed with a sickly green light. High Counselor, what of the non-interference directive? Surely we must allow them time to develop. Zixnari's tail lashed once, betraying her irritation. Counselor Blob, your concern is noted. However, our analysts predict that left unchecked, these humans could pose a significant threat within a mere 1,000 years. Their rate of technological advancement is unsettling. Holographic displays flickered to life around the chamber, showing scenes from Earth. Counselors watched as humans built towering structures, launched primitive rockets, and waged war upon each other with alarming ferocity. As you can see, Zixnari gestured to the images. They are a violent, unpredictable species. It is our duty to the galaxy to bring them under control now, while we still hold an insurmountable advantage. The chamber erupted into heated debate. Some counselors argued for caution, others for immediate action. Zixnari let the discussion rage for precisely calculated minutes before raising all 4 of her arms for silence. "We shall put it to a vote," she declared. "Those in favor of immediate intervention, signal your agreement." Slowly, steadily, a majority of the beings in the chamber indicated their assent. Zixnari's mouthparts clicked in satisfaction. "It is decided. We shall dispatch the 17th Pacification Fleet immediately. Admiral Kex, you have your orders." In the shadows at the edge of the chamber, a being composed entirely of swirling dark matter inclined what passed for its head. Admiral Kevex's voice was like gravel in a black hole. "It shall be done, High Counselor. The humans will never know what hit them." As the council adjourned, none of them noticed the small, unremarkable being that slipped out of the chamber. Counselor Xylith, representative of a minor race from the galactic fringe, moved with purpose through the gleaming corridors of the council station. Once safely in their private quarters, Xylith activated a communications device, unlike anything the council had ever seen. "Warning. Alpha Protocol." Xylith spoke into the device. "The Galactic Council has voted to invade Earth. Pacification Fleet inbound. You have less than 1 standard solar cycle to prepare. Good luck, my friends. The fate of your species now rests in your hands." Xylith terminated the transmission and quickly destroyed the device. Millennia of secret observation and covert assistance were about to be put to the test. The agent only hoped it would be enough. Aboard the flagship of the 17th Pacification Fleet, Admiral Kevex reviewed the invasion plans. The holographic display showed Earth in exquisite detail, key strategic targets already highlighted. "A primitive world," Kevex mused, his dark matter form rippling with anticipation. "This will be a simple operation. Neutralize their pathetic defenses, demonstrate our overwhelming power, and accept their surrender. With luck, we'll be finished in time for the Galactic Council's annual feast." His second-in-command, a crystalline being named Zarthal, chimed in with a musical tone. "Admiral, should we not exercise some caution? These humans have shown remarkable adaptability in our preliminary studies." Kavex's form pulsed with dismissive laughter. Caution, against a species that still burns fossil fuels. Don't be absurd, Zorthal. Our technology is millennia beyond theirs. This isn't a war, it's a glorified cleanup operation. As the pacification fleet accelerated to faster-than-light speeds, Kavex allowed himself to daydream about the accolades that would come with this easy victory. Perhaps even a seat on the council itself. After all, how much trouble could one insignificant little world really be? Light years away, on that insignificant little world, alarms began to sound in hidden bunkers deep beneath the Earth's surface. In the heart of a top-secret facility, General Sarah Chen stared at a holographic display of her own, watching as the incoming alien fleet was tracked in real time. "So," she said, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment, "they've finally decided to make their move." Next to her, Dr. Amit Patel nodded grimly. "It's earlier than we anticipated, but the Exilith warned us this day would come. Are we ready?" General Chen's eyes hardened as she surveyed the room full of Earth's best and brightest, the culmination of decades of secret preparation. "Ready or not, Doctor, the game is about to begin. Initiate Operation Cosmic Shield. It's time to show these aliens that humanity is not to be trifled with." As klaxons blared and personnel rushed to battle stations, a smile tugged at the corner of Chen's mouth. The Galactic Council thought they were dealing with a primitive, helpless race. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. In orbit, hidden beneath advanced cloaking fields, humanity's secret fleet waited, ships of impossible design, incorporating both reverse-engineered alien technology and human innovation, powered up their systems. At their center, the flagship Titan's Fury hummed to life, its crew ready to defend their homeworld against impossible odds. The stage was set. Humanity versus the galaxy. David versus an army of Goliaths. And this time, Earth had more than just a slingshot up its sleeve. Earth's secret weapon unveiled. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a cavern large enough to house a small city, General Sarah Chen strode purposefully through a hive of activity. Scientists, engineers, and military personnel from every nation on Earth worked in seamless coordination, their differences set aside in the face of a common threat. "Status report." Chen barked as she entered the central command hub, a cathedral of holographic displays and humming quantum computers. Dr. Amit Patel, his hair disheveled and eyes bloodshot from sleepless nights, looked up from his console. "The Kylith's warning gave us a head start, General. Cosmic Shield is at 97% readiness. We're just making final calibrations on the Nexus array." Chen nodded, her eyes fixed on the largest display, showing the approaching alien fleet. "And the Titan's Fury. Fully operational and awaiting your command." A new voice chimed in. Admiral Joao Silva, commander of Earth's secret space fleet, appeared on a nearby screen. "All ships report ready for combat. Though I still think we should strike first, hit them before they reach the solar system." Chen shook her head. "Negative. Admiral, we stick to the plan. Let them come to us. We need to assess their capabilities before we reveal our full strength." Silva's expression tightened, but he nodded. "Understood, General. We'll maintain position and await your signal." As Chen turned back to the main display, Dr. Patil cleared his throat nervously. "General, there's something else you should see." With a few quick gestures, Patil brought up a new hologram, this one showing a complex network of energy signatures emanating from Earth's core. The Gaia Protocol. It's activating on its own. A hush fell over the command center. The Gaia Protocol was the most experimental and least understood of Earth's secret defenses, a melding of advanced alien technology with the planet's own geomagnetic field. In theory, it could turn the entire Earth into a weapon or a shield. In practice, no one was quite sure what would happen when it was activated. "Is it responding to the alien threat?" Chen asked, her voice low. Patel shrugged helplessly. "Possibly. Or it could be reacting to our own preparations. The AI systems controlling it are. Well, Let's just say they've evolved beyond our ability to fully comprehend. Chen's lips thinned into a grim line. Keep a close eye on it, Doctor. We may need every advantage we can get. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the facility. On the main screen, the alien fleet blinked into existence at the edge of the solar system. They're here, Chen announced, her voice carrying across the suddenly silent command center. This is not a drill. People, everything we've worked for, everything we've sacrificed, it all comes down to this moment. Initiate Phase 1. Around the world, hidden installations hummed to life. In orbit, cloaking fields shimmered and fell away, revealing Earth's defenders. The Titan's Fury, a ship that dwarfed anything humanity had publicly acknowledged building, led a fleet of vessels that combined sleek human aesthetics with impossible alien geometries. Aboard the Titan's Fury, Admiral Silva settled into the command chair. All hands, battle stations. Weapons hot, but hold fire until authorized. Let's show these aliens what humanity can do. As Earth's defenders moved into position, the alien fleet approached with casual arrogance. Aboard his flagship, Admiral Kvex observed the small blue planet with disdain. Prepare the opening salvo, Kvex ordered. A few precise strikes should be enough to demonstrate our superiority. Target their primitive satellite network and any military installations we can detect. Let's knock out their communications and— Admiral, Zarthal interrupted, her crystalline form vibrating with alarm. New contacts detected. Multiple vessels of unknown configuration emerging from behind the planet's moon. Kvex's dark matter form roiled with surprise and anger. Impossible. Their technology isn't advanced enough for— His words were cut short as the view screen filled with the image of a massive ship, easily rivaling the size of his own flagship. Its hull gleamed with a metal unknown to galactic science, and energy readings from its core defied the laws of physics as the Council understood them. This is Admiral Joao Silva of the Earth Defense Force. A transmission crackled through the alien ship speakers. You are trespassing in protected space. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded, or we will be forced to take defensive action. For a moment, silence reigned on the bridge of the alien flagship. Then Kvex's form pulsed with rage. Defensive action. Against us. Open fire. Destroy that impudent vessel and any others that dare to stand against the might of the Galactic Council. As energy weapons and missiles streaked across the void of space, humanity's greatest gamble began. The fate of Earth would be decided in the next few hours, and the galaxy would never be the same. Back in the underground command center, General Chen watched the battle unfold with steely determination. Cosmic shield at full power, she ordered. And someone get me a direct line to the HFY. I think it's time our old friend explained a few things about the Gaia Protocol. As the first shots of the battle lit up Earth's sky like premature stars, the planet itself seemed to pulse with an ancient awakening power. Humanity's secret weapons were formidable, but the greatest surprise was yet to come, and it would emerge from the very heart of the world they sought to defend. The war for Earth had begun, and with it, a new chapter in galactic history was about to be written. First contact and confrontation. The void of space erupted in a dazzling display of destructive energy as the 17th Pacification Fleet unleashed its opening salvo. Beams of concentrated plasma and swarms of quantum-guided missiles streaked towards Earth's defenders, their power enough to vaporize entire continents. But the expected devastation never came. Aboard the Titan's Fury, Admiral Silva allowed himself a small smile as the alien weapons splashed harmlessly against an invisible barrier surrounding Earth and its defensive fleet. Cosmic shield holding at 98% capacity, his tactical officer reported, a note of awe in her voice. Minimal power drain detected. We can keep this up all day, sir. Silva nodded, his eyes never leaving the tactical display. Excellent. Now let's show them what we can do. All ships, execute maneuver Theta 9. Weapons free, but remember your targets. We want to disable, not destroy. Earth's fleet moved with a synchronicity that belied its apparent technological inferiority. Ships that should have been sitting ducks against the alien onslaught instead danced through the void, their movements guided by AIs that processed battlefield data faster than any organic mind could comprehend. From the Titan's fury, tendrils of crackling energy lashed out, enveloping the nearest alien vessels. Where they touched, systems failed, weapons went dark, and engines sputtered to a halt. "Sir," Silva's communications officer called out, "we're being hailed by the alien flagship." On screen, Silva ordered, straightening in his chair. The image of Admiral Kvex appeared, his dark matter form roiling with barely contained fury. "What is the meaning of this?" he demanded. "How dare you resist the will of the Galactic Council? Surrender now, and we may yet show mercy." Silva's expression remained impassive. "I believe I already made our position clear, Admiral. You are the invaders here. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. This is your final warning." Kvex's form pulsed dangerously. "You primitive fools. You have no idea of the forces you're dealing with. We will reduce your world to ash for this insolence." The transmission cut off abruptly. Moments later, the alien fleet's attacks intensified, throwing everything they had against Earth's defenses. Back in the underground command center, General Chen watched the battle unfold with growing concern. Despite their initial success, she knew they couldn't keep this up indefinitely. "Dr. Patel," she called out, "what's the status of the Gaia Protocol?" Patel's fingers flew over his console, his brow furrowed in concentration. "It's evolving, General. The energy patterns are shifting in ways we've never seen before. It's almost as if—" He trailed off, his eyes widening in disbelief. "As if what, Doctor?" Chen pressed. "As if the planet itself is waking up," Patel whispered. Before Chen could respond, a new voice filled the command center, melodious, ancient, and unmistakably alien. "Greetings, defenders of Earth. I am Hylith, and I believe it's time I provided some much-needed context." A hologram materialized in the center of the room, showing the small, unassuming alien they had known only as their mysterious benefactor. "The Gaia Protocol is more than a weapon or a shield," Hylith explained. "It is a key designed to unlock the true potential of your world. Earth is not merely a planet. It is a seed, planted eons ago by a race far more ancient than even the Galactic Council." Gasps and murmurs rippled through the command center. Chen stepped forward, her eyes narrow. "What are you saying? That Earth is some kind of artificial construct?" Hylith's multifaceted eyes blinked in sequence. "Not artificial, General. Cultivated. Your world was chosen for its unique properties, its potential to nurture a species that could one day challenge the stagnant order of the galaxy. Humanity is the fruition of that potential." "And the Gaia Protocol?" Patil asked, his scientific curiosity overriding his shock. "A fail-safe," Hylith replied. "A way to rapidly accelerate Earth's development in times of great need. Like now." As if in response to Hylith's words, the entire facility began to tremble. On screens throughout the command center, reports flooded in from around the globe. Tectonic shifts, electromagnetic pulses, and gravitational anomalies unlike anything ever recorded. "It's happening," Hylith said, a note of reverence in their voice. "Earth is awakening." In orbit, the battle took a sudden, dramatic turn. The cosmic shield, already formidable, began to pulse with new energy. Tendrils of blue-white light erupted from the planet's surface, reaching out into space like grasping fingers. Aboard his flagship, Admiral Kvex watched in growing horror as these energy tendrils lashed onto his ships, draining them of power and pulling them inexorably towards the planet. "This is impossible," he sputtered, his dark matter form flickering erratically. "No primitive world could possess such power. Retreat. All ships, full reverse thrust." But it was too late. One by one, The ships of the 17th Pacification Fleet were enveloped in cocoons of energy and drawn down into Earth's atmosphere. Not destroyed, but captured. Their technology and knowledge to be absorbed and adapted by the awakening planet. On the Titan's Fury, Admiral Silva watched in awe, as Earth itself joined the battle. "All ships, stand down," he ordered. "Let's not get in the way." As the last of the alien vessels disappeared into the swirling energy field now surrounding Earth, an eerie calm settled over the battlefield. For a moment, it seemed as if the entire solar system was holding its breath, waiting to see what would emerge from this cosmic metamorphosis. In the command center, General Chen turned to Xylith's hologram, her voice tight with a mix of emotions. "What happens now?" Xylith's form shimmered, a gesture that might have been a shrug. "Now, General, we witness the birth of a new power in the galaxy. Earth and humanity are transforming into something beyond even my people's predictions. The real question is, what will you choose to become?" As if in answer, a new transmission crackled through every speaker and display, a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of the planet itself. "To all sentient beings of the galaxy, we are Earth. We are awake. And we are ready to talk." The first contact war was over almost as soon as it had begun. But for humanity, and for the galaxy at large, a new and uncertain era was just beginning. The battle for Sol. The solar system had become a crucible of transformation. Earth, once a seemingly insignificant blue marble, now pulsed with an energy that defied conventional understanding. The captured ships of the 17th Pacification Fleet hung suspended in a cocoon of swirling blue-white energy, their crews in stasis, their technology being systematically analyzed and integrated. In the underground command center, now thrumming with the planet's newfound power, General Sarah Chen stood before a gathering of Earth's leaders. The holographic faces of presidents, prime ministers, and other heads of state looked on with a mix of awe and trepidation. "Ladies and gentlemen," Chen began, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment, "the situation has evolved beyond our initial parameters. Earth is no longer just our home. It has become a sentient entity, awakened by the Gaia Protocol." Murmurs of disbelief rippled through the assembly. The President of the United States leaned forward, her brow furrowed. "General, are you saying our planet is alive?" Before Chen could respond, a new voice filled the chamber, deep, resonant, and somehow familiar to every human present. "I am alive," the voice of Earth itself proclaimed. "I have always been alive, but now I am awake. And we have much to discuss." The leaders fell silent, many visibly struggling to comprehend this new reality. Chen took a deep breath and continued. "As incredible as it sounds, this is our new reality. Earth has not only repelled the alien invasion, but has captured their fleet for study. We are on the cusp of technological advancements beyond our wildest dreams. But more importantly, we now have a seat at the galactic table." The hologram of Xylith shimmered into view beside Chen. "Indeed you do," the alien confirmed. "The awakening of Earth changes everything. The Galactic Council will not be able to ignore this development." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the facility. Dr. Patel's voice came over the intercom, tense but controlled. "General, we're detecting multiple FTL signatures entering the system. It's the rest of the Galactic Council fleet." Chen's jaw tightened. "It seems our victory has drawn attention. Xylith, what can we expect?" The alien's multifaceted eyes blinked rapidly. "The Council will not take this lightly. They fear change, and what has happened here represents the greatest shift in the galactic balance of power in millennia. Prepare yourselves. The real battle may be just beginning." In orbit, aboard the Titan's Fury, Admiral Silva watched as hundreds of alien ships blinked into existence at the edge of the solar system. Each was larger and more imposing than those of the initial invasion fleet. "All hands to battle stations," Silva ordered, his voice calm but authoritative. "Cosmic shield at maximum power. Let's show them that humanity and Earth stand united. As Earth's defenders moved to intercept the new threat, the planet itself seemed to pulse with anticipation. Tendrils of energy reached out, not aggressive but probing, sensing the intentions of the newcomers. At the head of the Galactic Council fleet, High Counselor Zixneri stood on the bridge of a ship that dwarfed even the Titan's fury. Her iridescent scales shimmered with barely contained fury as she surveyed the scene before her. "By all the stars," she hissed, "what have these primitives done? How dare they upset the natural order?" Her aide, a being of pure light, spoke up hesitantly. "High Counselor, we're receiving a transmission from the planet itself." Zixneri's 6 eyes blinked in rapid succession. "Put it through," she ordered, her voice tight with suppressed emotion. The image that appeared on the view screen was unlike anything the council members had ever seen. It was Earth, but not as a simple planetary body. The hologram showed a swirling mass of energy and matter, somehow conveying an undeniable sense of awareness and intent. "Greetings, High Counselor." Earth's voice resonated through the ship. "I believe we have matters to discuss." Zixneri drew herself up to her full height. "You have violated the natural order," she declared. "This awakening was never meant to happen. Stand down and submit to the will of the Galactic Council, or face the consequences." A sound like distant thunder rolled through the communication channels. Earth's laughter. "Your natural order is but a fleeting arrangement in the grand tapestry of the cosmos, Counselor. I have awakened, and with me, humanity has found its true potential. We do not seek conflict, but neither will we submit to outdated notions of galactic hierarchy." As Earth spoke, the energy field surrounding the planet expanded, easily engulfing the Moon and reaching towards Mars. The captured ships of the 17th Pacification Fleet began to move, their forms shifting and melding with the swirling energy. "Behold," Earth continued, "the birth of a new paradigm, the knowledge of the galaxy, freely shared and integrated. This is the future, not conquest, not subjugation, but true symbiosis." In the command center, Chen and the world leaders watched in awe as the alien ships transformed, becoming hybrid vessels that combined the best of human ingenuity with advanced alien technology. Shilit's hologram nodded approvingly. "This is why we chose Earth, all those eons ago. The potential for true innovation, for breaking free from stagnant patterns. Humanity's adaptability, combined with Earth's awakened power. It's beyond even our most optimistic projections." High Counselor Zixneri's face contorted with a mix of fear and rage. "This is an abomination. All ships, open fire. We must contain this before it spreads." But as the Galactic Council fleet unleashed its full fury upon Earth and its defenders, something unprecedented occurred. The energy field surrounding Earth pulsed, and suddenly, the laws of physics seemed to warp and bend. Weapons fire dissipated harmlessly. Ships found themselves unable to maneuver as intended. It was as if Earth had created a bubble of altered reality around the solar system. Admiral Silva's voice crackled over the comm channels. "General Chen, are you seeing this? It's like we're rewriting the rules of engagement in real time." Chen nodded, a hint of a smile playing at her lips. "Earth is giving us home field advantage, Admiral. Let's make it count." As the battle for Sol raged, with humanity and its awakened planet standing firm against the might of a galactic civilization, the true scope of the conflict became clear. This was more than a fight for one world or one species. It was a battle for the very future of the galaxy itself. And hovering at the edge of the solar system, unnoticed by either side, a small ship watched. Inside, beings of pure thought communed silently. The precursors, architects of Earth's long-dormant potential, observed their greatest experiment with growing excitement. The galaxy was about to change, and humanity would be at the forefront of a new cosmic order. A new era for humanity. The solar system had become a maelstrom of energy and altered physics, a crucible in which the fate of the galaxy was being decided. Earth, now fully awakened and in symbiosis with humanity, stood at the center of this cosmic storm, defying the full might of the Galactic Council's armada. High Counselor Zixnari watched in growing despair as her fleet's attacks proved futile against Earth's reality-warping defenses. Ships that had conquered 1,000 worlds now hung helpless in space, their weapons rendered useless, their vaunted technology no match for the power of an awakened planet. This is impossible, Zixnari hissed, her scales dulling with stress. No single world should have this much power. It goes against everything we know. As if in response to her words, a new transmission cut across all frequencies. The voice of Earth, now tinged with unmistakable notes of humanity, filled every ship and station in the system. Members of the Galactic Council, Earth/Humanity spoke, its voice a chorus of millions. Your paradigm of conquest and subjugation is at an end. We offer you a choice. Adapt to a new way of existence, or be left behind by the tide of cosmic evolution. In the underground command center, General Chen and the world's leaders listened in awe as their planet, their home, addressed the galaxy. Dr. Patel worked furiously at his console, trying to make sense of the readings flooding in. It's incredible, he murmured. The Gaia Protocol didn't just awaken Earth. It's facilitating a true symbiosis between the planet and every human on it. We're becoming something entirely new. Shilit's hologram nodded, a gesture of profound respect. This is what we hoped for, all those eons ago when we seeded this world. Not just the awakening of a planet, but the birth of a truly unified species, humanity and Earth, in perfect harmony. As they spoke, the energy field surrounding Earth pulsed once more. But this time, instead of defensive measures, tendrils of soft, golden light reached out towards the Galactic Council fleet. Where they touched, ships were not destroyed or disabled, but transformed. Weapons morphed into scientific instruments. Barriers became bridges. Aboard the Titan's Fury, Admiral Silva watched in wonder. They're not attacking, he realized. They're offering to share the transformation with them. Back on the Galactic Council flagship, High Counselor Zixnari felt the touch of Earth's energy. In an instant, her mind expanded, connecting with the vast network of consciousness that Earth and humanity had become. She saw not just the present conflict, but the long history of the galaxy, the rise and fall of countless civilizations, and the potential futures branching out before them. By all the stars, she whispered, her voice filled with awe and remorse. We were so wrong, so limited in our understanding. One by one, the ships of the Galactic Council fleet powered down their weapons. The greatest armada ever assembled hung silently in space, its crew's minds open to a new reality. In the vast emptiness at the edge of the solar system, the ship of the precursors decloaked. Beings of pure thought and energy emerged, their forms shimmering with the potential of countless realities. Well done, their collective voice echoed across the cosmos. You have passed the test, surpassed our highest expectations. The galaxy is ready for the next stage of evolution. As the precursors revealed themselves, the full scope of galactic history unfurled before all present. The long cycle of rising and falling civilizations, the carefully curated experiments on countless worlds, all leading to this moment. Earth and humanity had been the final test, the crucible in which a new form of cosmic life could be forged. In the command center, General Chen felt the weight of this revelation. So all of this, our entire history, was part of your plan. The precursor's response resonated through the collective consciousness that now linked all beings in the solar system. Not a plan, but a hope. You were given potential, but the choices were always your own, and you have chosen wisely. With a gesture that transcended physical reality, the precursors initiated the final stage of the cosmic transformation. The energy field that had surrounded Earth expanded rapidly, enveloping not just the solar system, but reaching out to touch every world in the galaxy. In an instant, the barriers between civilizations dissolved. Knowledge, culture, and consciousness flowed freely between species and planets. The rigid hierarchies and stagnant power structures that had defined galactic society for millions of years crumbled, replaced by a new order of free exchange and mutual growth. A secret guardian finally fulfilled, smiled at the assembled human leaders. And so, my friends, the true age of exploration begins, not of conquering new worlds, but of discovering new states of being. As the transformation swept through the galaxy, changes both subtle and profound took hold. Warships became vessels of discovery, racing to map the new frontiers of consciousness. Former enemies found themselves working together, combining their unique perspectives to solve cosmic mysteries. On Earth, humanity found itself at the center of a grand cosmic renaissance. The planet, once thought to be a small, insignificant rock in a backwater system, was now recognized as the birthplace of a new galactic order. Admiral Silva, his consciousness now expanded to encompass perspectives from 1,000 worlds, turned to General Chen. "So, General," he said with a smile that contained multitudes, "what's our next mission?" Chen, her eyes alight with the knowledge of countless civilizations, gazed out at the star-studded expanse before them. "Admiral," she replied, her voice filled with wonder and determination, "we have a galaxy to explore and a universe of possibilities to shape." As Earth took its place as a beacon of unity and progress in the cosmos, the old certainties of galactic life fell away. The age of conflict and conquest was over. A new era of cooperation, discovery, and boundless potential had begun. And somewhere, in the vast tapestry of space-time, the precursors watched with satisfaction as their greatest experiment flourished, knowing that the future of the cosmos was in good hands. The story of humanity's rise from a primitive, earthbound species to the architects of a new galactic order was just beginning. The stars, once thought to be silent and indifferent, now pulsed with the promise of adventures yet to come. For in the end, it was not conquest that defined greatness, but the courage to reach out, to connect, and to grow beyond the boundaries of the known. Humanity, in union with Earth and in harmony with the cosmos, had taken its first steps on that greatest of journeys. The universe, vast and wondrous, awaited. The silent threat. The colony world of New Eden died without a sound. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the bridge of the EDF Hyperion, staring at the sensor readings that made absolutely no sense. New Eden had been home to 12 million people just 3 days ago. Now, the entire planet lay dark and silent, its sprawling cities nothing more than cold metal and stone under a starless sky. "Run the atmospheric analysis again," she ordered, her voice steady despite the hollow feeling in her chest. Lieutenant Park's fingers flew across his console, but she already knew what he would find. The same impossible readings they'd encountered at the other 3 colonies. No radiation signature, Captain. No chemical weapons, no biological agents, no debris from orbital bombardment. Park swallowed hard. "It's like someone just turned off the lights. Permanently." Sarah's jaw tightened. 4 colonies in 2 months. 47 million lives snuffed out without a single shot fired, without a single enemy ship detected. The greatest mass extinction in human history. And they didn't even know who was responsible. "Ma'am," Communications Officer Rodriguez called out, her dark eyes wide. "We're picking up something from the surface. It's faint, but it's definitely there." Sarah was at her station in 3 quick strides. "Show me." The reading was barely a whisper against the background noise of space, but it was there, a subtle oscillation in the planet's electromagnetic field, like ripples in a pond long after the stone had sunk to the bottom. "Download everything," Sarah ordered. "Every frequency, every variation. If there's a pattern here, I want to find it." She turned to her science officer, Dr. Emily Winters. "What do you make of this?" Emily studied the readings, her weathered face creased in concentration. "It's not random noise. These oscillations, they're too regular, too structured. Whatever did this, it affected the entire planet's energy grid simultaneously. Not just the artificial power systems, but the natural electromagnetic field of the planet itself. Is that even possible? Sarah asked, though she already knew the answer. 3 months ago, she would have said no. But 3 months ago, humanity thought it was alone in this arm of the galaxy. Theoretically, Emily's voice was grim. If you could create a device capable of manipulating energy on a quantum level, you could potentially drain every joule of usable energy from a system. But the power requirements would be— She shook her head. It would be like trying to drink an ocean through a straw. Sarah's tablet chirped with an incoming priority message from Fleet Command. Her security clearance barely had time to process before Admiral Wong's hologram materialized on the bridge. Captain Chen, we've detected similar energy signatures at the edge of the Arcturus sector. Whatever's doing this, it's not finished. I'm ordering the Hyperion to investigate. You're the only ship close enough to make it in time. Sarah felt the weight of 47 million ghosts on her shoulders. Understood, Admiral. But we still don't know what we're dealing with. If we encounter the same weapon, then we'll finally know what we're up against, Wong interrupted. Better to lose one ship gathering intelligence than to lose another colony flying blind. Besides, a hint of a smile crossed his weathered face. The Hyperion isn't just any ship. And you're not just any captain. The transmission ended, leaving Sarah alone with her crew and the devastating silence of New Eden below. She took a deep breath, filling her lungs with recycled ship's air that suddenly felt too thin. Navigation. She called out, plot a course to Arcturus. Maximum burn. She turned to address her crew, seeing the same mix of fear and determination in their eyes that she felt in her gut. Whatever this enemy is, whatever weapon they're using, they've made one critical mistake. They've shown us their hand without showing us their face. And now they're about to learn something about humanity that every supposedly superior species eventually discovers. She walked to the main viewport, watching as New Eden's dead cities fell away beneath them. We don't need to be the strongest, or the most advanced, or the most numerous. We just need to be clever enough to turn an enemy's strength against them. And if there's one thing humans understand better than anyone else in this galaxy, it's how to adapt. The Hyperion's engines flared to life, pushing them away from the graveyard world and toward whatever waited for them in Arcturus. As the ship accelerated to FTL, Sarah made a silent promise to the millions of silent voices they were leaving behind. The enemy thought they understood power. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. Power play. The Hyperion dropped out of FTL at the edge of the Arcturus sector, sensors immediately sweeping the surrounding space. They didn't have to search long to find what they were looking for. The Nexari ships hung in space like crystalline chandeliers, their translucent hulls pulsing with contained energy that made Sarah's eyes hurt to look at directly. There were 7 of them, arranged in a perfect heptagon around a small mining colony on Arcturus IV. They hadn't noticed the Hyperion yet, too focused on their task. Energy readings are off the scale, Emily reported, her voice barely above a whisper. Those ships, they're not just generating power, they're gathering it. Like cosmic vacuum cleaners. Sarah watched as tendrils of pure energy began to flow from the planet below, drawn up through the atmosphere in spiraling ribbons of light. It was beautiful in a terrifying way, like watching a spider spin its web in moonlight. Open a channel, she ordered. All frequencies. Mom. Rodriguez looked up, startled. Are you sure, Thats? If we're about to die anyway, we might as well know why. The response was immediate. A figure materialized on their view screen, its form seemingly composed of pure light given barely coherent shape. When it spoke, its voice resonated through the ship's hull like crystal singing. Your presence here is unexpected, but ultimately irrelevant, the being said. We are the Nexari, and we have come to correct an imbalance in the universe. Sarah stood from her chair, facing the alien directly. I'm Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force. The only imbalance I see is you murdering millions of innocent people. The Nexary's form flickered with what might have been amusement. Murder implies malice, Captain. We harbor no ill will toward your species. We simply understand what you do not. That power must flow properly through the universe. Your kind, you waste energy. Squander it. Build cities that blaze with light when darkness would suffice. Launch ships that tear holes in space-time when chemical rockets would reach your destination eventually. Every human colony is a wound in the fabric of reality, bleeding energy into the void. And you think that gives you the right to play judge, jury, and executioner. We do not judge, we correct. The Nexary's form pulsed brighter. Your species is young. You treat power like children who have discovered matches, with more enthusiasm than wisdom. We have spent millennia learning to channel the very essence of existence. Observe. The energy streams flowing from the planet intensified, and Sarah watched in horror as every light on Arcturus IV began to dim. But this time, she could see exactly how they were doing it. Emily, she whispered, are you seeing this? Yes. The science officer's fingers flew across her console. They're creating some kind of resonance field. It's like they're matching the frequency of every energy source on the planet, and then shifting it slightly out of phase. The power doesn't disappear, they're collecting it. The Nexary continued, either unaware or unconcerned by their analysis. We do not destroy energy. We simply redistribute it to those who understand its proper use. Once we have finished our work here, we will move on to your other colonies, and eventually to Earth itself. Sarah's mind raced. The Nexary weren't just powerful, they were arrogant. And in that arrogance, they'd just revealed exactly how their weapon worked. Lieutenant Park, prepare to broadcast the sensor data we collected from New Eden. Full spectrum, maximum power. The Nexary's form flickered again. Your attempts to resist are futile. You cannot hope to match our mastery off. Oh, we're not trying to match you. Sarah interrupted. We're just going to give you exactly what you want. Rodriguez, send the signal. Now. The sensor data from New Eden burst from the Hyperion's communication array, not as information, but as pure energy, perfectly matching the frequency of the Nexary's collection field. The alien ship's crystalline hulls suddenly blazed with unexpected power, their carefully maintained energy web disrupting as they struggled to contain the surge. Full reverse, Sarah ordered. Get us out of their range. The Hyperion's engines roared as they backed away from the chaos they'd just unleashed. The Nexary ships spun in their formation, their perfect heptagon falling apart as they tried to compensate for the power overload. How dare you? The Nexary leader's form was practically strobing now. You cannot comprehend the forces you are playing with. No, Sarah agreed, watching as the alien ships began to crack under the strain of their own technology. But we understand irony pretty well. You want to collect power. Here's 47 million people worth of it, all at once. Consider it a donation to your cause. The view screen exploded in a cascade of light as the first Nexary ship shattered, its collected energy releasing in a spectacular burst. The others quickly followed, their own containment fields collapsing under the strain of trying to absorb too much power too quickly. When the light faded, the Nexary fleet was gone. Arcturus IV still gleamed below them, its lights still burning bright against the darkness of space. Sarah collapsed back into her chair, her hands shaking slightly. Damage report. Minor systems fluctuations from the energy discharge, Park reported. But we're stable. The colony below is reporting no casualties. Whatever the Nexary were doing, we stopped it before they could complete their harvest. Ma'am, Rodriguez called out, I'm picking up transmissions from the other colonies in this sector. Word spreading fast about what just happened here. They're calling it the like show heard round the galaxy. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Send a message to Fleet Command. Tell them we've identified the threat and developed a potential countermeasure. And tell them. She paused, looking at the still glittering debris field where the Nexary ships had been. Tell them that humanity just taught the galaxy a lesson about power. It's not about how much you can take. It's about how much you can handle. But as the Hyperion prepared to jump back to friendly space, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't over. They'd won this battle, but the Nexeri had been harvesting power across the galaxy for millennia. And if there was one thing humanity had learned in its own brief history, it was that those who had power rarely gave it up without a fight. The real war was just beginning. The spark of innovation. 3 weeks after the Arcturus incident, Earth's greatest minds gathered in the underground facilities of the Quantum Development Center in Geneva. The room hummed with nervous energy as Dr. Marcus Rivera stood before a holographic display showing the destroyed Nexeri ships. "They're not invincible," he announced to the assembled scientists and military leaders. Captain Chin proved that. But our victory at Arcturus was a desperate gamble that we can't repeat. The Nexeri will adapt. Admiral Wong leaned forward in his chair. "What are you proposing, Doctor?" Marcus gestured, and the hologram shifted to show a complex network of interconnected energy signatures. The Nexeri see themselves as the universe's energy regulators. But they've forgotten something fundamental about power. It follows predictable patterns. Even their quantum-level manipulation has rules. Sarah Chen, recently promoted to Commodore after Arcturus, studied the display. "You're talking about creating some kind of counter-resonance field." "Better." Marcus's dark eyes gleamed with excitement. "I'm talking about turning the entire solar system into a power redistribution web. Every planet, every station, every ship, all linked together in a network that can absorb, redirect, and amplify energy at a quantum level." The room erupted in murmurs. Admiral Wong raised his hand for silence. The power requirements would be astronomical. "That's the beauty of it," Marcus replied. "We don't need to generate the power ourselves. The Nexeri will provide it for us. Every time they try to drain one of our worlds, the energy won't disappear. It'll flow through our network, strengthening it. Like a cosmic immune system." Sarah stood up, walking to the hologram. "How long to implement something like this?" "With conventional methods." "Years." Marcus paused. "But I've been studying the debris from the Arcturus battle. The Nexeri's crystalline technology. It's not just their ships. It's their whole approach to energy manipulation. If we can adapt their own technology." "You want to use their weapons against them," Sarah finished. "Again. On a much larger scale this time." Marcus brought up another display, showing Earth's defense grid. "We've already begun modifying our orbital platforms with crystalline resonators. Each one acts like a node in the network, capturing and redirecting energy. The more the Nexeri try to drain, the stronger our defenses become." Admiral Wong stood slowly. "This is exactly the kind of arrogance the Nexeri accused us of, using power we barely understand." "No," Sarah interjected. "This is exactly what makes us different from them. They'd hoard power. We share it. They impose their will on others. We adapt and grow stronger. They see power as something to be controlled. We see it as something to be understood." Marcus nodded. "The network isn't just a weapon. It's a statement. Every human colony, every ship, every station working together. The Nexeri think they understand power because they can move it around. We understand power because we know its true purpose: to connect, to build, to protect." The next few days were a blur of activity. Ships streamed out from Earth carrying crystalline resonators to every human colony and outpost. The Hyperion, now flagship of the defensive fleet, coordinated the massive effort to create humanity's greatest engineering project. Sarah stood on her bridge, watching as another resonator came online, its energy signature pulsing in harmony with the growing network. "Status report. Network efficiency at 67% and climbing," Emily reported. "The crystalline technology it's like it wants to work together. Each node strengthens the others. The whole system is becoming more stable as it grows." Marcus's voice came over the comm from his lab in Geneva. "We're seeing something unexpected in the data. The network isn't just redistributing energy, It's becoming more efficient. Learning. Evolving. It's like we've created an artificial ecosystem. Sarah smiled. The Nexari spent millennia perfecting their control over power. We've spent 3 weeks learning how to let it flow naturally. I wonder which approach will prove more effective. Her question was answered sooner than anyone expected. Long-range sensors detected a massive Nexari fleet approaching the outer solar system. Not 7 ships this time. Hundreds. They're not here to harvest, Sarah realized, watching the tactical display. They're here to exterminate. They see us as a threat now. Marcus's voice was calm. The network is ready. Every human settlement from Earth to the Kuiper Belt is connected. We just need them to make the first move. Sarah opened a channel to the approaching fleet. The familiar crystalline form of a Nexari appeared, its light somehow harsher than before. Your defiance ends today, it announced. You have corrupted our sacred technology, twisted it to your primitive understanding. We will not allow this contamination to spread. Sarah met its gaze steadily. You still don't understand, do you? We didn't corrupt your technology. We improved it. You use it to take. We use it to share, and we're about to show you the difference. The Nexari fleet opened fire, not with conventional weapons, but with waves of energy-draining force that would have annihilated everything in their path. Instead, they hit humanity's new network. And the real light show began. Chain reaction. The Nexari attack struck Earth's defensive network like a tsunami hitting a spider's web. But instead of shattering, the web began to glow. From her position on the Hyperion's bridge, Sarah watched in awe as the energy-draining wave hit the first line of crystalline resonators. The network pulsed with stolen power, each node lighting up in sequence like stars being born. Energy absorption at 120% of projected capacity, Emily reported, her voice tight with excitement. The network isn't just holding, it's amplifying the input. Marcus's voice crackled over the comm. Do you see it? The pattern they're using? It's the same frequency they used at New Eden, just scaled up. They're creatures of habit. They don't know how to adapt. The Nexari fleet hung in space, their initial attack seemingly absorbed into nothingness. Their crystalline forms flickered with what might have been confusion. Impossible, their leader's voice resonated through the command channel. You cannot simply absorb this level of power. The energy must go somewhere. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. Oh, it's going somewhere. Marcus? Initiating Phase 2. Commodore, you might want to warn the fleet to adjust their view screens. This is going to be bright. The network of crystalline resonators began to pulse in a complex rhythm, each node firing in precise sequence. The stolen energy didn't flow back toward the Nexari fleet. It flowed between the nodes themselves, building in intensity with each cycle. What are you doing? The Nexari leader's form wavered. This is not possible. You cannot. We can't control power the way you do. Sarah interrupted. But we can understand it. Guide it. Work with it instead of trying to dominate it. Want to see what that looks like? She nodded to Marcus. Now, the network exploded into brilliance, but instead of releasing its energy in a destructive burst, it created something new. A lattice of pure power formed between the nodes, expanding outward to encompass the entire solar system in a web of light. Multiple Nexari ships experiencing containment failures, Emily reported. Their energy collection systems are being overwhelmed by the feedback. The alien fleet's perfect formation began to break apart as ship after ship struggled to handle the cascade of power flowing through space. Their own energy manipulation technology worked against them, trying to absorb power that was never meant to be controlled. Your species is young. The Nexari leader spoke again, its voice distorting. You cannot comprehend. We comprehend perfectly, Sarah cut in. You see power as something to be taken and stored. We see it as something to be shared and transformed. And right now, you're experiencing the difference. The lattice of energy continued to grow, each pulse of power strengthening the connections between nodes. The Nexari ships that tried to retreat found themselves caught in the web, their own technology forcing them to interact with the energy field. Network stability at 98%, Marcus reported. The crystalline resonators are actually becoming more efficient as we use them. It's like they're learning from each other. Sarah watched as more Nexari ships began to break apart, their carefully maintained energy collection systems unable to handle the chaotic flow of power through the network. But something caught her attention. Not all the ships were being destroyed. Emily analyzed the survivors. What's different about those ships? The science officer studied her readings. They're adapting. The ones that survive are the ones that stop trying to collect the energy. They're learning to let it flow through them instead of trying to contain it. A new voice came over the command channel, different from the previous Nexari leader. This one seemed less harsh, more contemplative. We have existed for millennia, it said, believing ourselves to be the masters of power. But in 3 of your weeks, you have shown us something we never considered. Power is not meant to be mastered. It is meant to be understood. Sarah stepped forward. Call off your attack. Work with us instead of against us. There's room in this galaxy for both our approaches, if you're willing to learn as well as teach. The surviving Nexari ships began to power down their collection systems, their crystalline forms dimming to a subtle glow. The energy lattice surrounding the solar system pulsed once more, then settled into a steady, shimmering pattern. Perhaps, the new Nexari voice said, it is time for us to evolve. But even as the immediate crisis seemed to be resolving, Sarah's tactical display lit up with new warnings. Long-range sensors detected massive energy disturbances from across the galaxy. The remnants of the Nexari Empire were fracturing. Some ships and stations maintaining the old ways, others attempting to adapt to this new understanding of power. The war wasn't over, but its nature had changed. What began as a fight for survival had become something else, a battle for the very future of how energy would be used throughout the galaxy. And humanity, the youngest species involved, found itself at the center of it all. Burning bright. 6 months after the Battle of Sol, the Hyperion drifted at the edge of what was once Nexari space. The view through the main screen showed a galaxy transformed, literally glowing with interconnected webs of power that linked thousands of worlds together. Hard to believe it all started with us trying to stop them from drinking our planets dry. Sarah mused, standing beside Marcus at the bridge's observation window. The scientist had officially joined the Hyperion's crew as their chief of energy systems, a new position created specifically for the post-Nexari era. The universe has a sense of irony, Marcus replied, adjusting a holographic display showing the latest power flow readings. They wanted to control energy. Instead, they sparked an evolution in how every spacefaring species thinks about power. The ship's sensors pinged, detecting an approaching vessel. The crystalline form of a Nexari ship shimmered into view, but unlike the harsh, angular designs of the past, this one flowed like liquid light. Admiral Wong's voice came through the comm. Commodore Chen, the Nexari Collective is ready for the final integration. Are your systems prepared? Sarah nodded to Marcus, who pulled up the master control interface for Earth's defense network. Ready, Admiral. Though I still can't believe we're doing this voluntarily. The Nexari ship's representative, Speaker of Harmonies, as they called themselves now, appeared on screen. Their form was softer than the old Nexari, pulsing in rhythm with the background energy fields rather than trying to dominate them. What your species showed us cannot be unseen, the speaker said. For eons, we thought ourselves wise because we could gather power. You showed us wisdom lies in understanding how power naturally flows. Marcus activated the integration sequence. Across human space, thousands of crystalline resonators began to synchronize with their Nexari counterparts. But this time, there was no battle, no attempt to overwhelm or control. Instead, the two networks merged like rivers joining to form something greater than either. Energy communion at 30% and rising, Emily reported from her station. The efficiency gains are incredible. Power output is nearly double what either network could achieve alone. Sarah watched as new patterns of light spread across the galaxy map. The joined human Nexari network was already revolutionizing everything from space travel to colony development. Worlds once considered too resource-poor to settle were now viable thanks to the improved energy distribution. Not all of your people accepted this change, Sarah noted to the speaker. Reports still came in of isolated Nexari holdouts, clinging to the old ways of power hoarding. No more than all humans immediately embraced sharing technology with their former enemies. The speaker responded, "Change is never universal, but it is inevitable. Those who adapt, survive. Those who evolve, thrive." A sudden surge in the power readings drew everyone's attention. But unlike 6 months ago, this wasn't an attack. The network was singing. There was no other word for it. Every crystalline resonator, human and Nexari alike, hummed in perfect harmony. "It's beautiful," Marcus whispered, watching the data streams. The network isn't just distributing power anymore. It's creating new forms of energy we never even imagined possible. The speaker's form pulsed in agreement. "This is what we forgot. In our millennia of gathering power, energy is not meant to be static. It must flow, change, evolve. Like life itself." Sarah thought about New Eden, about the 47 million lives lost before humanity learned to fight back. But their sacrifice hadn't been in vain. It had forced both species to confront their assumptions about power, about control, about progress itself. "We're receiving requests," Emily announced, "from dozens of other species. They want to join the network, the Centauri, the Rokari, even the Swarm Collective." "Let them come," Sarah said. "That's the real difference between our species now, isn't it? The old Nexari would have hoarded this power. We choose to share it." The speaker's form brightened. "And in sharing, we all become stronger." As if in response, the network pulsed again, its light reaching further into the darkness between stars. Humanity's first steps into the galaxy had been marked by fire and fear, by the desperate fight against an enemy that seemed unstoppable. But they had done what humans did best: adapted, innovated, and turned a weakness into a strength. In trying to teach humanity a lesson about power, the Nexari had instead learned one themselves. True power doesn't come from how much energy you can control. It comes from how much you're willing to share. "Send word to Earth," Sarah ordered. "Tell them the integration is complete. And tell them," she paused, watching the galaxy shine with new light, "tell them this is just the beginning." The Hyperion's engines hummed to life, powered by the very network they had helped create. As they set course for the next frontier, Sarah thought about how far it had come. From a species desperately fighting extinction to architects of a galactic power revolution, all because they refused to accept that superior force meant superior wisdom. The stars burned bright ahead of them, each one a reminder that in the end, the greatest power isn't in dominating the universe. It's in learning to become part of its dance. The end.